All right, guys. Welcome to Shivambhu training class number 10.6 in a six-part series. This is our final class, so we're going to review everything, answer all the questions, go into the last couple chapters of the manual, and then we're going to jump up and down and celebrate and bring in our mom and dad and throw our caps up in the air. All right, I'm going to read. My salvation comes from me. This is from lesson 70. If you have a copy of this book, it's on 119, but I'm not
Is
sure
that
where
one
it is in
listed in the
you.
references or?
Uh, this is uh, this is A Course in Miracles. This is the newer version. Do you have a copy in your hand? Okay, let me just read. And I want thank you. Listen to the parallel between this lesson and between that and Shivambhu. Here we go. My salvation comes from me. All temptation is nothing more than some form of the basic temptation not to believe the idea for today. Salvation seems to come from anywhere except from you. So too does the source of guilt. You see, neither guilt nor salvation as in your own mind and nowhere else. When you realize that all guilt is solely an invention of your mind, which means you made it up, you also realize that guilt and salvation must be in the same place. In understanding this, you are saved. Or you can use the word understanding. Number two, the seeming cost of accepting today's idea is this: it means that nothing outside yourself can save you. Nothing outside yourself can give you peace. But it also means that nothing outside yourself can hurt you, disturb your peace, or upset you in any way. Today's idea places you in charge of the universe, where you belong because of what you are. This is not a role that can be partially accepted, and you must surely begin to see that accepting it is salvation. It may not, however, be clear to you why the recognition that guilt is in your own mind entails the realization that salvation is there as well. God would not have put the remedy for the sickness where it cannot help. Shivambhu. That is the way your mind has worked, but hardly his. He wants you to be healed, so he has kept the source of healing where the need for healing lies. You have tried to do just the opposite, making every attempt, however distorted and fantastic it might be, to separate healing from the sickness for which it was intended, and thus keep the sickness. Your purpose was to ensure that healing did not occur. God's purpose was to ensure that it did. Today we practice realizing that God's will and ours are really the same in this. God wants us to be healed, and we do not really want to be sick because it makes us unhappy. Therefore, in accepting the idea for today, we are really in agreement with God. He does not want us to be sick, neither do we. He wants us to be healed, so do we. We are ready for two longer practice periods today, each of which should last 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not going to read that part, but I want to read the next page, three statements that exemplify what this lesson is all about. Number one, my salvation comes from me. It cannot come from anywhere else. Very powerful statements here. My salvation cannot come from any of these things. My salvation comes from me and only me. Realize this is a truth that's being spoken, not an ego statement. And finally, on the bottom of the page, my salvation comes from me. Nothing outside of me can hold me back. Within me is the world's salvation and my own. Here's to your salvation.
Yes.
Drink of yourself and live. Thank you, Shiva. Mm, mighty fine year. Ah, mine's 24 hours. It was a good year. um, any any feedback about what you've learned for the last five classes? Is there anything that you got any insights on, or anything you need clarification on? Now would be a good time to bring that up.
We were talking about it this morning, and I mean, there's so much material between your books and everything online and all the it's I mean, everything's so easily available. Um, we couldn't come up with any particular question, honestly.
No, I was like, can you think of
Okay.
anything? This is our last class. Let's really just have a brainstorm here before we jumped on the video, and let's really try and dig and see if we have any more questions. But I really don't.
I want to print out this
Well,
book so that I have trouble reading online, so like I want to print this off because I do better with like a physical book.
hard copy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What? Which book are you referring to?
We got the PDF of the teacher's manual, but we're gonna order a hard copy. Print it off.
Excellent. Okay. You can either get it from Amazon or a signed copy from me. That's I always have a moment for shameless promotion. Either way, I go through the book, over and over and over again. There's things I miss. There's things I would add. And if you're a writer, you can go and see the misprints where the publisher missed something. Anyway, it's been a joy to be a writer. Can't wait to see your book come out. So, what could we do to simplify the teachings? This is the reason I came up with the Shivambhu wisdom chart. So, you have key points that you can say a lot about this water in few words. So, when you're talking to people, you can narrow it down to like it alchemizes everything. It's an intuitive medicine. It works regardless of your considerations. Saturation dosing will speed up the process. All these things you can cut down the time you have to explain, all the details. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Can you explain why just telling people to drink the urine uh, is not as thorough a job as adding all the protocols or doing more than just drinking? Do you understand the question?
Hmm.
Because some people say, well, just drink it, have a good life, and they wish them well. What else would you suggest to people other than to drink your urine?
Yeah, lots of things. I mean, there's just so many protocols. I think, again, for beginners, if they're not even comfortable with pouring it down their throat, there's just so many other fun things that you can do. Like I just love foot soaks. I'd be like, put it in your navel, spray it on your hair. Just yeah. I'd recommend a lot of other things than just drinking it. And we spoke about the compresses and making a compress. You mentioned yesterday on someone who might have a UT infection. Um, there's enemas because enemas are the way that you can help with headaches and these things. And I have respect for people who have tried and tested these things and have had the experience where yeah, the enema worked for them over something else. And I know everyone's different, and maybe it's just in my case that that intuition was for them and not necessarily for me. But I would mention all these different things and see what a client feels comfortable with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think. Oh, sorry.
go ahead, Ben.
No, I think I would advise people to try as many of the different protocols as they can, because some will be helpful for some people and not helpful for other people, or some may be more helpful than others. Like I've tried the navel
Yeah,
thing. Um, I tried the navel thing with like some really old aged 2-year-old aged, and I've lied down for like 15 minutes on my back with it there, and I didn't really notice that that it did much. Uh, some people get a lot out of doing it that way.
thank you. Now, if you'll take some time and study the general treatment suggestions that are in the book, the manual.
Mhm.
The whole idea is to get really good at intuitively answering to people. They say they have psoriasis, they have hepatitis. Well, drinking is fine, but when you start doing compresses on the liver, reflexology points in the feet, you teach them different pathways so that you can
Mhm.
drive the nutrients into the bloodstream and to affect those organs a lot better. And when you get good at this, then it doesn't matter what disease or label they throw at you, you don't get scared or thrown off by it. Oh, I've got cancer. Oh, I've got diabetes. Oh, I got multiple sclerosis. Or I've got AIDS. Or I got blah. You don't let that flutter you. You
Mhm.
just know what organ it's affecting, and you know which protocols to suggest, and it makes your job a lot easier.
Yeah, a lot of
So we
people.
want to keep ourselves. Yeah, Ben, go ahead.
I was saying a lot of people seem to ask, does it cure such and such? And you know,
What do you
I
tell?
think what people don't realize is a lot of people just want a pill or a treatment or something, and you really have to change your thinking too to cure anything. You can't just take any certain supplement or even urine therapy alone. It's not going to cure something unless people change their thinking around whatever caused their ailment.
Right. It's actually a whole lifestyle change if you
Yeah.
if you really look at it, because people's diet, their attitudes, their emotions, or lack thereof, their connection to source. Um, if people just drink it but they don't change anything else, I would tell them, well, Shivambhu may not be for you. And I go, what do you mean it's not for you? You said it's a universal panacea. It heals everybody. I said everybody who does the personal work and transformation and wellness practices, yes.
Hmm.
Because that means you're going to be a little more conscious about what you put in your mouth. That means you're going to be a little more mindful about how you communicate in your relationships. That's going to mean you're going to put your attention on God and the source a lot more than you have. These are the things that build true health for a lifetime. So we got to be careful not just give a pat answer to people. Oh yeah, this will cure whatever.
Hmm.
And if
I
you
want
talk to,
to. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, man. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask you. I had some that's a couple years old that I had sitting out in a pan for a while, covered with cloth, and um, you have to be careful how it's covered and not get flies in it and stuff. But I was wondering if anybody has a good method of dehydrating it so it's more concentrated, more like a lotion instead of just a liquid. Because for putting it on for sunburn, it seemed to work best if I had it like stuff that's been sitting out in the sun, so it's evaporated a lot of the water off of it, and also putting on like 3 or 4 layers. But it seems like if you had stuff that's really concentrated and evaporated off the significant portion of the water, so it's still a liquid, but just a lot more concentrated, it'd be more effective to use on the skin for putting on, bee stings or bites or for sunburn or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And you're talking about applying it with the hand versus a cloth.
Yeah.
I can't think of a
Well,
better way
if you
to
turn it into
evaporate
powder,
it.
About 45 minutes left. Yeah.
Zach, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I can't personally think of a better way to uh, basically evaporate it or concentrate it other than the sun. I mean, if you put a smaller amount in a jar, it would evaporate better than, let's say, a larger amount. And you could do that in multiple jars, maybe.
And because it's
Right, and
so
some people use a very
so strong, I mean, just like we make our own toothpaste sometimes with a mixture of just for fun, a few drops of hydrogen peroxide and rosemary essential oils mixed in coconut oil and baking soda. Could you not? It was just an idea to, take a little bit of coconut oil and put some drops of really good evolving orin in there and apply it that way.
will
Mm.
it hold its consistency together?
I don't think the oil will mix with it unless you put some like saponification agent or something in there with it.
Mm.
You're talking about oil and water, which doesn't mix.
Yeah.
So Ben, do you have a background in chemistry?
Um, biology. Yeah.
Well, if you figure it out, you're going to be a rock star in this water movement.
Yeah. I've done it in like plastic tubs, but I don't really like to have plastic tubs sitting in the sun because that also breaks down into the urine. So
Mm.
I guess I need
Right.
maybe a big stainless steel or glass pan to use or something.
Right. Some people will put it in like a half-inch, quarter-inch Pyrex glass pan,
Hmm.
or something where they can leave it out in the sun. The sun could dry it and it becomes a powder, and then they could brush it out of there and use it for something,
Hmm.
or to suspend its life a little longer. If you come up with a formula, let us know.
Yeah. I've been working on some stuff like extracting plant medicine stuff, but I haven't gotten a distiller. But you can do a distiller also, which is it doesn't go up to boiling; it just heats it a little bit. But I don't have much experience with that yet.
Well, doesn't it turn it into steam, and then it recollects and takes its structure of the water, and that makes it distilled?
Well, I think it's not. It doesn't actually distill it, but it one of them swishes the liquid around so it evaporates, and then it blows off the air that's evaporated, so it's less humid air, and it makes it evaporate faster. It's essentially just a environment that makes it evaporate the water off faster. It doesn't heat it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I would love to hear how this plays out for you. When I was giving Orin massages at the retreat, I found that I had to go really slow so I wouldn't slip off the body,
Yeah.
because you're splashing on water on a naked body. Unless you're going really, really slow, will you be able to get into the muscle groups and into the release and trigger point? So I have to go like 10 times slower than normal,
Yeah.
but it can be done. And then some people will just kind of like paint it on the body and not even do any massage techniques. They would spend 30 minutes to an hour just very soothing, putting it on the person's body. I think it'd be a whole lot of fun to do that during Tantra. We'll do Orin Tantra massages. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the book. Let's go to the book. We've got time to go over what we need to today. And I already did the rap song, so that's over with. We're going to go meet some of these master teachers and superstars. Now, when this book came out, there were new teachers that showed up on the scene since 2020. There was people like Mike Perry, Nick Caputo, um, Rodney Levoyer, Troy Casey, various other people, Amanda Vollmer, Kate Stillman. I was unaware of these people until 2021, 2022. So the reason I listed all these people, so if you ever want to look at their teachings, check out their YouTube channel, or reach out and communicate with them because you want to know what they know, these are enough people to get you started. A lot of these people I had the opportunity to either meet in person or interview. Dr. Tal Schaller, he's out in France. Dr. Loda, who's out in India. Dr. Patel, well, he's gone. That was when he wrote the book. Some of these other people are not even living anymore. Cohen Vanderkroon is still in Holland. Leonard Orr passed away in 2019. Andrew Norton Weber, he's floating around the ethers. We haven't figured out how to pull him back into the public yet. You do know he's alive, right?
Who was that?
Andrew Norton Weber, the Aquarius water bearer.
Mm-hmm.
he not only brought the teaching about distilled water and urine therapy to the world, but he organized and hosted the 20 it was either 2012 or 2013 urine therapy conference in San Diego. And then shortly after that, he disappeared.
Mhm.
So I'm sure he had his reasons, or he had death threats, or whatever it was. He dropped out of the scene. His teachings are still as valid today as ever, and we have a feeling he's going to appear anytime now. Or he'll show up as a different person and a different name. Who knows?
Yeah.
So these are some of the people I wanted you to know about. Dr. Samola, he's out there in Nigeria. Dr. Jubb, he is in Las Vegas. Martha Christie, I don't know if she's still alive. Beatrice Barnett, I don't know if she's alive. Doc Mike, I speak to him about 3 times a week. He's heading around the country. Dr. Group showed up on the scene a couple of years back. You guys have met Fabian. I think Annie and I talked about Fabian for quarrying. You remember Brian Justice, Brian and Kelly?
No.
Brian Justice was living in New York with his wife Kelly, who healed herself with urine therapy, and he started a urine therapy Facebook group that built up to thousands of people, and it was very successful. And he's since gone offline, so I don't know what his situation is.
Hmm. Yeah, there's some
Brian
Facebook
Justice.
groups that have 10,000 plus people.
Yeah, and do you read their comments, or do you post any comments?
Sometimes I do, but I don't know. It seems like once you learn more about this, it's not as valuable to participate in the groups because people are asking over and over again, does it cure this? Does it cure that? Or they ask
Yeah,
questions that are pretty simple to be answered in, if you read basic books about them.
right. Well, it gives you an indication of who's the newbies.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
They haven't.
I guess
Folks like you and
sorry.
folks like you have done the research. You've done the deep dive. What are you going to say, Ben?
No, it seems like I've grown different plants, mushrooms, and so on. There's always people that it seems like they don't really read anything, and they just ask like, where do I get started and stuff, which I think is fine. But after you participate in those groups for several years and like answer the same questions over and over again, I guess for me, it just got a little boring to. Then I just
Well,
let other people take that role on, I guess.
yeah. Well, I'm kind of in the same situation because of my situation and being high profile in the Water family. Uh, I tend to step in and notice that everybody's answering each other's questions.
Mhm.
And every now and then I'll throw in some of the Shivambhu wisdoms or respond to them. Otherwise, people will spend hours there.
Yeah.
I've
And I'm
seen
sure
some
by now
really
you've come to realize that every
testimonies. I like to hang out in the groups, and I've screenshotted a few really good testimonies. So um, every now and again, I'll see people that are saying how good it's worked out for them, and it's just so inspirational. And yeah, the way they write is also really nice. So I hang out there for the testimonies.
yeah, and I hang out sometime on Instagram because some of these guys have such profound insights. Um, I like to hear some of their comments or read their look at their memes. So you never know. We're going to go to page 239, chapter 20. We're going to look at the future. Now, my first book came out, Healing Water from Within, in 2018. I got the first download of the big picture of where this movement was going to go. And then now in 2020, I wrote this other book called The Manual for Urine Therapy Teachers. And more of these prophetic ideas have come true. And some of them are being discussed on the worldwide scene, like a spa where people are giving Shivambhu colonics and body wraps and foot soaks and experimenting with different Orin from different genders and working with their pets. So let me just read a little bit of this and let's see where we get. Page 239, The Future of Shivambhu and Urine Therapy, the movement. There's an increasing worldwide interest in becoming an Urine therapy teacher. This is resulting in the creation of UT schools, educational programs, home study classes, and conferences. Of course, now there's retreats. Didn't see that one coming. So now there's retreats. Hint, hint. Our voices are being heard. The Shivambhu movement is growing. There is still so much more work to do as our message is being spread mostly through social media, radio, TV shows, and interviews. Every day, more are taking the message and mission to the streets and to the people who need a miracle. This has been an organically growing grassroots movement up until now, 2022. Moved by the healing of their own bodies, courageous individuals like you are putting aside concerns and fears, page 240, and offering a life-saving remedy by telling your friends and loved ones about their discovery of AUT. Are you among these Shivambhu warriors? As billions of people desperately seeking answers to their serious illness and well-being become more disappointed by the medical establishment, it will be up to us to speak up and take action. We need to continually share the Shivambhu message to all of humanity. Let this be the day that world governments and their media tell the people of the world the truth about AUT. Now, how would that be a great declassification? You've heard of Kash Patel?
Mm-hmm.
He's taken on the role for Donald Trump as the guy who's going to declassify all the archives, the U.S. archives that have been classified. I would like to know if this was in the files. That would be great. Through spreading the education and awareness of AUT, the Shivambhu organization will be producing several AUT educational and instructional projects for 2022 to 2024 to empower everyone in this life-changing practice. Outreach programs, local water community meetings, support groups, UT teaching and therapy centers are being established in Africa, USA, UK, Germany, Australia, and other countries. Shivambhu's documentaries, trainings, research findings will be taught in schools, universities, churches, AA meetings, recovery centers, senior centers, wellness centers, websites, movie theaters across the world. We're talking a major paradigm shift here. Major shift. Our tools are making AUT topics engaging for young and old viewers, which is sparking excitement for future study. With the training and confidence gained by upcoming UT teachers and therapists, many more are able to help their clients in their recovery to restore their health and achieve a better quality of life. We continue to be blessed with countless numbers of Shivambhu enthusiasts joining us with their time, talent, energy, and voices to the movement of all movements. And what's really delightful is to see people coming up with new protocols and new approaches. We had one student in the last class, she came up with the Buttmaster bucket. She found a bucket, you might have seen it on my YouTube channel. She found a bucket that's big enough to sit in. And so you don't have to fill up a whole bathtub. She says it's a little tricky getting out of it, but you can sit in, and if you've got any problems with your intestines, your genitals, your pelvic area, it's perfect for that. So she says, get a Buttmaster 2022 at any hardware store. And so it's amazing how many people are coming up with new protocols, like the foot jacuzzi. So keep bringing that, guys. With the training and confidence gained by upcoming teachers and therapists, more able to get their clients to a better quality of life. We continue to be blessed with countless numbers of enthusiasts joining with their time, their talent, and I already read that part. Shivambhu is here to bring health freedom to generations living today and in the future. Those with questions on how to join Shivambhu in this worldwide mission or have any suggestions, donations, proposals, or ideas to further our work, you can reach us through shivambhu.org. page 242. Following the Shivambhu Trail documentary, we'll travel the world with Brother Sage, assistant, and a camera crew, spreading the Shivambhu message along with Urine Therapy stories and recording inspiring news from people on the streets across the world. Can you see a time when you or someone in your community will go down to the street, get permission from the city, and host a table on urine therapy? Can you ever see yourself doing that? If you need some help, call me. Let's team up and go hit the streets. It's a whole lot of fun, particularly to see what you're made out of when people respond to you. Spin-offs will come after this book is published, which will include radio, television, internet talk shows, and articles, and it has. More respected celebrities will be coming forward and lending their names and reputations by endorsing AUT for the world to discover their practices for themselves. And these are some of the people I mentioned, like Rodney Levoyer. We've got celebrities from Hollywood, celebrities from the music industry have been coming forth more and more every day and letting people know, hey, this is why I feel so good. This is why I don't have any foot problems. This is why my face looks so good. Shivambhu will be producing live streaming webinar teachings UT courses from beginning through master level. This is why you're in one right now. They will also be offering Zoom UT conference calls with Q&A format for audience participation. We will be filming Brother Sage and the Shivambhu team hosting tables at popular public gathering places and events. I should have thought ahead of time we could have had a table at the Pride Festival here in Boulder. While all these gay people are getting together trying to figure out what gender works for them, here's a guy preaching urine therapy. You think it would have gone over?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? You know, it might have got to him if I was passing out samples. All right, I'm thinking outside the box again. There's a growing interest in becoming an Urine Therapy teacher in the United States and across the planet. This will result in the creation of Urine Therapy schools, educational programs, and uncertification. Any idea what that means? Uncertification means you're pre-certified because you have the direct experience and the wisdom of what this is. And I've been coaching people for many years who want to become professional massage therapists, but are hung up about getting a certification and getting all the legal papers all in a row. When you got the talent and you got the skill, it's just a matter of getting the word out. It's going to be the same with being an Urine Therapy teacher. The uncertified describes practitioners who are pre-qualified from years of direct personal experience and results backed by their Shivambhu lifestyle and a remarkable health. These are all the credentials you will ever need. UT teachers will be grandfathered in by their commitment to share this important work. A percentage of the proceeds from fundraisers for the Shivambhu organization will go to causes and individuals who make a difference in the world. The purchase of property, housing, and Shivambhu headquarters will be established as the Purification and Retreat Center of the Pacific. Hold that vision, thank you guys, and then I'll send you a ticket and you can come do a week-long retreat over in Hawaii. Nobody's
Sounds
jumping
good
up and
to
down
me.
on that one? Okay, all right, fine. The future of AUT, bottom of page 243. We're going to take a break in about 15 minutes. The power of AUT gets confirmed by a quote, medically controlled double-blind study. These lab test results will become the gold standard for AUT's acknowledgement as the perfect medicine for humanity. That's going to do a number on the medical industry, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
When people realize they don't need them. Oh, you guys, forget it. As long as I can pee, I don't need you. Get out of here. My life is perfect. Many peer-reviewed published articles will begin appearing on university and medical websites and in national healing publications. Page 244. And these are already starting to happen as of 2022. Shivambhu, the nonprofit organization, will be blessed with a wealthy philanthropist who not only sponsors the double-blind study, they finance all the staff, directors, and projects. This financial source has no economic or political interest in Orin being tested. They will not be motivated by profit from Orin products, which ironically can't be patented or owned. Since Orin is the least controllable substance on Earth, it is impossible to derive any monetary profit for it. Therefore, our angel philanthropist has invested $100,000 to do the double-blind study. That's the vision I got. The double-blind study confirmed that laboratory tests are unnecessary in order to determine which virus is causing an infection, and Orin therapy is beneficial for everybody. As word spreads around AUT, many laboratory owners and technicians will be out of work. Consequently, the pharmaceutical companies, which may include a lot of nutritional companies, that make antibiotics, as well as pharmacies and stores that sell antibiotics, prebiotics, probiotics, all that other stuff, are cutting back on their workforce and may possibly close their business because there's no need for their antibiotics anymore. Anybody would like to see that happen? You know, this is really tricky with the lag time on the screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, you hang in there. This will be interesting to watch the playback. Page 245. Prime Minister Modi of India declares urine therapy as an acceptable form of self-health care to the entire nation of India and to the world. Governments will include UT in the curriculum in all medical and educational institutions. Hospitals and healthcare providers will provide AUT as their number one treatment. All states and countries will be given official recognition to AUT. There will be a cooperation and coordination between different healthcare disciplines to assist in overcoming all illnesses and contributing to the happiness, well-being, and health of humanity. We will become self-reliant as people, find out about the basic and natural therapeutic practice, which is safe, sure, simple, and free. This is the gift of life, known as Shivambhu, or Urine Therapy. Page 246. You see that picture there? The guys with the bicycles doing a toast? That was a stained glass window I found outside of a bar and restaurant in a nearby town. I was out doing a house call. And I looked at it and go, that's not what it means to me. These are two guys celebrating their Orin. So as you can see, you'll start to see things in new ways that you didn't see before. Recently replied to a water brother in South Africa about UT training, UT centers in Africa, and certification. You can get my previous book, Healing Water from Within, as a digital color copy or direct from me. There are currently no formal training centers in South Africa, although Dr. Sumola is building one on his property as we speak. I need to find out if he's done with it yet. There are a growing number of UT practitioners scattered across Africa. The Strong Water families are in Botswana, Nigeria, and Kenya, and they're working on a UT conference with me as a guest speaker. That was going to happen in Botswana in 2020, but you know what happened, so it was called off. However, as I've written this manual, you become self-certified after mastering UT protocols and have experience mentoring and teaching others. With AUT, it doesn't matter the name of a disease or the story about it, lab tests, or personal beliefs. Shivambhu brings healing and miracles and answers to prayers. Any questions about the future?
It's crystal clear.
It's crystal clear. And there's a percentage of what was written back in 2020. As you can look around the world, you can see these things are manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the interest is growing dramatically. Ben, you have anything to add? You want to say?
It seems like the more people you can get into the movement, probably the faster things will change.
Mm-hmm. And this movement has been growing organically. I'm just one voice, even though I'm connected to a whole lot of people. It takes a village.
It seems like, just from my experience with other things, once things gain significant momentum, then the people who stand to lose profit start to try to sabotage it. But
Well, they might be opportunists. Like there's a gentleman in Wisconsin who I might have mentioned in the last class. He wants to dry it out the orange and put it in tea bags and sell it at his grocery store. So there, people are figuring out how to monetize their water. One guy contacted me about a year ago. He says, "Can you make money off selling pee?" I said, "If you believe you can, and if you're clever enough, and you package it right, go for it."
Yeah, the Porta-John company is now.
Yeah, well, they've been doing that for years. And if you've ever peed in a porta john, for all you guys, you know they have a different section. They've got that one place where you stand and the seat, right? And what I've
Yeah.
been doing is like I was watching where it drips down to see if it goes into the big tank or not. And it doesn't seem to stir up the water and the shit and whatever's in the tank in the toilet area.
Yeah.
So they're probably still funneling it off.
Hmm.
That
It
hasn't changed at all.
it goes down
Um,
the side of the
so we're going to
tank on
read
the
Pat.
inside.
It goes down on, yes, but it's got a private, it's got an individual tank that collects it, right, Zach? It's separated from the toilet area.
It could.
Yeah, I think it makes it.
I don't think I'd want to stick my head in there to really find out.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't ask you to. But somebody said years ago they remember when that was not part of a porta potty. There was a time it was just a toilet seat.
Hmm. I think it
Anybody
makes it.
older than that?
I think they have to come and service them less often if they have the urine separated, because then the stool compartment doesn't fill up as fast.
Yeah,
So I'm sure there was probably some
yeah,
initial economics of servicing them that was created that, or maybe they separated them so they can use the urine for products. It's hard to tell. But obviously it's more expensive to build them with separate chambers and stuff like that. So there must be, some financial savings for them to do them.
yeah. Did you ever catch that video of the standing men's urinal in France? There was a video a while back. They have this standing urinal where there's like, let me close this. There's a standing urinal, right? And there's dividers between each section, so the guy has privacy. Behind him is people walking around him, and they're peeing in the urinal, zip up and walk away. Well, in this video was this guy who was putting like soda cups, empty cups, in the urinals, and guys would pee in the cups, and when they would walk away, he would grab the cup and drink their urine.
Huh.
So either he was a very evolved Shivambhu devotee, or who knows what his reasoning was. But they have these freestanding urinals in France already.
Hmm.
So people don't have to go inside a restaurant or go inside a public building.
It doesn't seem like it'd be beneficial to drink random people's urine if they don't have a good diet, but I guess maybe for immune purposes, it may be helpful to drink a small amount of it. But
It's kind of an intimate thing too. You're sharing, something with somebody. It's like I'll do that with a nay, that's what I'm comfortable with. But other than that, it's a really intimate thing, I think. So it's at your own discernment.
Yeah, I agree. When I went to a rebirthing convention in 1980, we were healing a lot of birth issues. And one woman who was nursing at the time offered her breast to me, and she offered her milk to anybody who wanted it, for particularly people who didn't get breastfed as a child. It was very healing, and a lot of crying took place. She was totally comfortable with it, and so was her husband. So it kind of depends on the context in which this is presented.
Right.
Let's take a break now, and then we'll come back and talk about the funny side of Shivambhu.
Well, sounds
because
good.
that's something we need to bring into more conversations.
Yeah, do it right away because it degrades pretty
You're talking
quickly.
about, no, it doesn't degrade, it evolves.
Yeah, I don't know where they got the idea that it degrades. So I guess it seems like if the older it is, the better. Then it would be good to, like, if you had a row of stuff, to drink the oldest first and put the newest in the back of the row.
Yeah, Ben, I can see that makes sense in the ideal situation. You've got to understand that we've spent probably the last 4 or 5 generations being um, programmed by the medical profession and from the nutrition industry. So when people think that it's going to be having a breaking down or losing its potency, it sounds like what happens when you cut an apple and it oxidizes, or
Mhm.
you split open some fruit and air gets to it and starts to break down.
Mhm.
But orange is so antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic, anti all that other stuff that it doesn't have those properties. It doesn't seem to affect it that way.
Yeah, one challenge I have is that there just seems to be a lot of discrepancy from one book to the next or one practitioner to the next. So,
Yeah, exactly. And you have to sort that out and you have to come to trust your intuition. For
mhm.
example, somebody had posted the other day, they don't think people should put evolving orin in their eyes. And so I made a video. It was our brother Abalu from Jamaica who contacted me about that. And so I made a video in response to the fact that somebody has a quote adverse or negative reaction, and they decide they want to take their opinion publicly. That's all it is one person's opinion. But if people go in agreement with that, that becomes a belief system, and
Yeah.
you hear more people doing that. So you have to sort out all the dogma in this movement.
Mhm.
Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also so much, oh, what do they call it? I mean, placebo effect is a significant thing. And also if one person has an experience once, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily true. It could just be placebo. So you also have to be careful for those.
And how do you determine that?
Um, I guess if you see if it's supported by more people or from your own experience, but then I guess your own experience could be placebo too. So
Yeah, I mean, a large part of it could be that we believe it's working, so it's working.
yeah.
And does that really matter?
I think
Mm,
it really just shows how powerful the mind is to play a role in its healing.
Hmm.
yeah.
And you can also see the opposite side of that, how the mind plays a role in people's unbelief and not getting
Mm.
results.
Hmm.
Because there's a percentage of people that you'll read about who say, well, I've been doing urine therapy for 3 months and I'm not getting any results. I'm not getting any better. My cholesterol levels are high. My cortisol levels are high. And I said, well, are you changing anything else in your life? I mean, it's not just a pat answer. I drank it, didn't work. What were you
Hmm.
expecting it to do? Are you willing to do other changes in your life and allow the process to take care of itself? And what percentage of this that works is based on our faith?
Well, I think, like they say, reality is created in your mind. So pretty much whatever you believe is what's going to happen. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, amen. It's Sunday. I believe. It's
Yeah,
Sunday.
and also values. Like, if a person really values consciously to get better, they place more value in that, and therefore they'll experience um, greater healing, if you will. And if the person's seems to be unconscious and they value other things, like being argumentative, or they value projecting onto others or whatever, then that's what they'll experience. It's all about giving it the respect that it deserves and valuing it and treating it sacred. And yeah, it's beautiful. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone comes across this video, you want to get better, you got to value health. You got to really value that.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
saw, I don't know if it was a study or a video recently where they compared two people's urine pH. They both ate the same thing for like a week at a time. They both got the same amount of sleep, but one of them was a lot more relaxed, and another one was like, scared and concerned and stuff. But if you're in a fight or flight response in your body, even if you're eating exactly the same food, your body's going to be breaking down. Your body's going to be breaking down tissue instead of building tissue, and your immune system is going to function differently. So, you can change your urine pH or stuff just by how you're feeling and thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get to choose happy or sad at any one moment,
Mhm.
and how you want to respond or react to things that arise in you.
We're
Take a
getting deep
breath.
here,
Take a breath.
guys.
Pick up a lot of these. These are gems.
Yeah.
So let's do one last reading from the book. Ben, don't freeze up on us. All right, guys, come on. I need to see you moving like you're living, breathing, animated humans. It could be my network. It could be everybody's. Who knows?
Mhm.
And maybe we'll find some humor in this when this is all over. All right, page 247. The chapter is called "Humor as a Therapeutic Adjunct to Urine Therapy Does Make a Difference." Smiling not only increases one's face value, smiling produces endorphins and happy molecules. While dealing with the controversial subject of drinking one's pee and sharing AUT with sick people you wish to help, it will take a sense of humor as well as sensitivity to earn their acceptance by prospects and newbies on this path. You guys are still out? Okay, you froze. The Piscabulary of Organisms, which was written in the Healing Water from Within book, that was a whole new Piscabulary for everybody in the water family to learn new words using the same words with a new definition. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Along with piss cartoons, pee jokes, celebrities discussing drinking pee, or people singing pee drinking songs, was for readers to learn how to lighten up when presenting this subject to people. Page 248. We got a couple more pages to go. Humor and piss puns produce a temporary shift in the mind in its attempt to take in a new idea, particularly one that challenges our perception of reality or our beliefs learned from, quote, trusted sources. While a person is going through mental gymnastics to be able to understand and to integrate this new idea known as the sorting out period, AUT as an idea is worth considering. You must sink deeper into the mind until they get it, or they must sink deeper into the mind until they get it. Humor is the key that opens the mind. It spices and lightens up any apparent difficulties. Have you seen J.P. Spears, some of his comedy?
Oh yeah.
Before J.P. Spears showed up on the scene doing his comedy, which has become more like George Carlin, because he sounds more like George Carlin doing comedy on political situations, was a gentleman who went by the name of Swami Byandananda. And he was teaching enlightenment through comedy. And so there are some brilliant people out there who are using their wits for a good cause. One pioneer in laughter reclaimed that it took 10 minutes on a rowing machine for his heart rate to reach the level it would after just 1 minute of a hearty laugh. 10 minutes of laughter can easily produce 2 hours of pain-free sleep, as well as a mind that is free from worry. It has been shown in several studies that the ability to laugh raises the level of infection fighting antibodies by the body as well as boosts the level of immune cells. Your body responds incredibly well to the effects of belly laughs. Maybe you guys should practice some more haha yoga if you haven't already heard about that. Have you heard that? People just laugh for 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
There's actually a yoga where people practice this. Orin, especially during looping, either sip looping or all out looping, increases antibodies, nourishes the nervous system, especially the adrenal glands, normalizes work of the blood vessels, and lowers blood pressure. Adding comedy, humor, and laughter reactivates, amplifies, and enhances the body's strength as it brings positive effects. Regardless of whether laughter actually does improve your health or boost your energy, it undeniably improves your quality of life. Enjoying laughing is the reason to laugh. Being pissed on is more therapeutic than being pissed off. All right, page 250. He's finally understanding where I come up with this silly stuff. Get hit by learning a hilarious new Orin language. It is packed with piss-rich puns and a new Orin words with definitions. Learn it today, it won't be confiscated, and you will not be pissing away your time. Breathe. Exhale. Release all pressure from your belly, your mind, your bladder, and your intestines. Here's a pistacular idea that will facilitate your coordination with others. You know, I spend way too much time thinking about this subject to come up with this stuff. Pea puns are guaranteed to take you beyond the known Oriniverse, the Orinosphere, and where Shivambhu devotees gather. The worldwide water family openly and sincerely show their respect and love for each other. In my experience, I feel everyone's love and gratitude for hearing this message in the most peafic way. Just pee happy, pee active, and drink your pee today. Today's mantra, I now pee easily, effortlessly, and on time. That's not just for you guys over 40 with prostate challenges. You should know when it's time to pee, it'll be enjoyable every time. I release, relax, and am present when I pee. Are we having a magnificent time now? You're in good hands with your own water. Just trust and flow with it. Hey, if they can't take a joke, you know what to do. Right? Never mind. Have you come aboard the Orin wave before it becomes the big change? Come on in. The water's fine. Either get pissy drinking Orin or get busy sinking. Hemponomics is what happens when a hemp farmer uses Orin in his field. His plants and income become enormous. Do you remember Mary Poppins when she sang Expialidocious? You don't remember that? Okay. Simply let the vocabulary fill up your joy tank and you will never be pissed poor again. Any questions about stepping up the humor in your conversations with your family and with the newbies? If nothing else, just practicing your comedy is therapeutic. I know it is for me when you've gotten too serious about things. Check in and see if you've gotten too serious about your life anytime during the day and find a way to get back into finding fun. People are so serious. We're caught up on the narrative. We're caught up in the fear porn and the hopium and everything that hooks our attention away from our work and from our inner journey. So you got to find ways to have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Ben, you're the only one who's moving on screen. Annie and Zach are in.
Oh, they're like
They're in freeze mode.
frozen.
Well, frozen.
You're moving now.
Oh, good.
Now you're moving. Did you switch to something? What did you switch?
I think we're just really still some of the time, so it might maybe look like we're freezing.
Yeah, but right now your voices sound a little bit robotic. It kind of
Yeah, broken up a little bit.
broken now.
Okay.
Now you're frozen. Zach, you don't always freeze with your mouth wide open.
Can you plug that in? We'll come back on the laptop. 1 minute.
Okay. They're going to jump off. All right, Ben, any questions? Since you got me one-on-one.
Hmm. I think sometimes I come up with them, but then I don't write them down or ask them, then I forget.
No problem. Keep a notepad around or post them or something.
Mhm. Oh, I wanted to ask you, how many people do you usually have to have interested to be worthwhile to have a conference or something, or a get together? I guess you call it a retreat or something.
Are you talking about an in-person retreat?
Yeah.
We were trying for 12 and we got 11.
Hmm.
One was the organizer, so there was like 10 attendees.
What kind of place do you usually have them at?
The first one was at the organizer's house in her backyard. The next one is going to be at. Let me give you the website of this place. It's going to be 20 miles east of Portland. It's called Minucha. It's a retreat center up in the hills, and it's been around for over 100 years. It's changed hands in several families, and it's still very available. They got all kinds of different properties and a lodge and cabins and outdoor fire area, swimming pool, lots and lots of acres to hike in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's whatever venue that can be created. The guy on West Palm Beach, we're working on that right now.
Yeah, we just moved here a couple months ago, so we really haven't connected with many people.
Are you wanting to have an event at your place or in your town?
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to at some point. We're kind of booked up for September. Like August would probably be a little too soon to schedule something. But yeah, it'd be nice to set something up. Be nice to meet
Okay.
more people in the area that are interested too.
You're in Wisconsin?
In South Carolina.
South Carolina. Oh, no problem. We're getting a growing group in North Carolina and in South Carolina. And if we promote it right, and you can hear this as well, Ane, if we promote it right, people will come from several states away.
I looked on the Shivambhu.org, or no, the Shivambhu Hut. You can look at people that are nearby, but I think the closest people I could find were in Georgia.
Right. Well, you have to spread the net a little farther. I mean, there's like almost 24 to 30 social media groups on 3 different platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them, like you can ask if there are people in local, and even though there's 10,000 people, you don't get much response.
So yeah, let's talk about this outside of class.
Yeah, sounds good.
And what's been helpful is to have 3 months ahead time before an event, so you got enough time to promote it, put the word out. People get lower airplane flights, and all around it gives everybody enough time to get their life together to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing at Machuca.
Manuka.
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 Yeah.
And did you look up what the translation of that word means?
No.
I think I have before, but I forgot.
Do you remember what language it's in?
It's probably Native American of some kind.
It is Hebrew.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And it either means peace and calming or living waters.
Huh.
How appropriate is
Yeah,
that?
because their symbol has something with water.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
Isn't the universe just amazing? That's where the next retreat is. Wow.
I know it's so perfect. And our last retreat was in Oceanside. So
That's good.
we get symbols of water, we get symbols of gold, Here in Boulder, I was doing meetings at the downtown library, and we were always able to reserve the El Dorado room, which is Spanish for gold.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought that was perfect. We talk about gold plasma water.
Very cool.
So Ben definitely reach out to me, and maybe we can start something for October, November.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the folks who went to the Oceanside event are coming back for the second event that's going to be in Portland area. And I would love to see them like just be Grateful Deadheads, and they follow me around the country, and we just go to different places and bring in new people. Yeah, we're the Shivambhu heads, and we follow Shivambhu wherever it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I think we're too busy for that.
Well, if you're a true deadhead, that's your whole life. These guys would
Right.
spend like years following the band everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they afforded their life. Maybe they were selling drugs at the concert. I don't know.
Right.
Mm.
They always came up with something. So the very last of anything here in the book, just so that I can feel like we touched on everything, is why the heck did we put together a nonprofit organization about urine therapy? We did that so we would have the ability to communicate with more organizations and more businesses and more professionals than we could just as a urine therapy group and committee, because we wanted to be able to look like they would think we would look. And I view it more as a ministry. So instead of calling it a 501 Class C3, I call it a faith-based ministry organization. And so it's designed that people can send donations, which some people have done. And under the name of our nonprofit, we've been able to create a whole infrastructure for the planet. The Water Family Directory, the Shivambhu Hut, these classes, the World Conference calls, retreats, all this is being put together with the help of the foundation and the support of everybody.
It's really good you
I'm just the guy.
did that, because I'm new to the United States, and when I did call to make a reservation at Manuka, they'd actually require you to have a 501c3 to be on the premises if you're going to be inviting a big group of people. So that just makes it so that we can turn up to places and have access to these beautiful locations to host friends, UT friends.
All right. NA, I'm going to send you our document from the IRS that proves we are nonprofit. I'm going to send you our nonprofit certification.
Oh yeah, we'll need
So in
that.
case that ever comes up with you and Minucha, you can go, yeah, I have one. Let me in. Status. I'll send you the certification that shows our status.
Cool.
And it would be lovely if you can arrange a spot on their website that announces the event, like all the other events that have been on their website. If they would be nice enough to promote the event, then that would bring in all the people who find their way to their website who've never heard of urine therapy or may be interested in coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then they can put either your contact information, mine, or shivambhu.org. But I prefer it's just you and I as the contact information.
Okay. Noted.
Board of directors have business. Yeah, so just something you can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So once we get the costs all figured out, we get the promotional website and design, the digital design all set up, then shoot it over to them and see how quickly they can post it on their website.
Will do.
All right. Also let them know. This is called um, collaboration and mutual admiration. Let them know we'll be putting their website on our promotional items, so they'll know that we're
Collaboration
supporting the
and
work.
mutual appreciation.
Or
Beautiful.
acknowledgement, whatever word you like.
Yeah.
So we'll put minutia.org on our site, and we're going to use a picture, and I'm hoping you can help find one that represents a pristine, beautiful image that people would be drawn to, and you don't even need the words. It's just like when we did the last event, we had the pier coming off of Oceanside, and then it was used for the graphics design.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions? So we put together this nonprofit, and it has opened up quite a few doors for us. Um, we've had people like Dr. Group. He donated $1,500 once. He said, "I totally support you guys." Boom, boom. And I'm going, wow, people, this stuff works. And some people have been donating, and some people haven't, and that doesn't matter. Our work is the work, and we continue to come up with new projects and new ways to present the teachings. Yay! So did I miss anything there? The Channel 7 story is up to 60,500 views right now.
Yeah.
They're one of the Channel 7 CBS. They came to Boulder from Denver, and they videotaped me doing Tai Chi with my partner and drinking on camera and showing the protocols. And they did a lovely, I might have told you, they did a lovely piece. And at the very 30 seconds, they bring the doctor in to demonize it. Oh, don't you know it's bad for you? It'll make you sick. And these guys are crazy, right? And because of how that was put together, it helped the movement more than they realized, because we've got almost 61,000 views right now.
Mm-hmm.
So all press is good press. Even the ones that showed Harry Matadine as a crazy guy in England drinking his old pee on camera. So anything you can do to talk to your media, to talk to the newspapers, if you have alternative newspapers out there, alternative magazines that would be open to something that's considered an alternative, yeah, get them an article. Find out what it takes. I'll get you articles you can use, and that way the local interest will start to grow.
Mm, nice. Yeah, at the end of the book here, there's lots of references and resources and testimonials. It's great. There's a lot of information here at the very end of your book, Brother Sage. Organizations, links to a whole bunch of good stuff.
Yeah, I think I have about 20 or so videos in my YouTube watch later to see ones you recommended and other people. So.
Thank you. I'm looking for somebody. I don't know if you guys would have the time or the interest. I'm looking for someone who can take all the courses that I've taught, condense them down to just a variety of maybe 4 to 6 different versions, maybe 6, because there are 6 series. Condense it down, and then set it up so we can do pay-per-view. That way I can take my attention off doing these trainings.
Mm-hmm.
I love the trainings, but it takes a lot for me to set up the broadcast studio, put together the video, talk to you guys, which I love, don't get me wrong. And then when it's over, I have to upload it, download it, publish it, and move it forward. And that's about 3 to 4 hours of a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'll write it down and I'll
So,
let you know if I find someone. You can
What would they do?
that.
Go
yeah,
through
it's a
the
lot of time consuming.
yeah, you'd have to go through a lot of training courses and take snippets out of each one, I guess. And
Yeah, it's it's time consuming. And I don't know who would be what kind of person who would do that, but it's someone who understands the subject matter. so they would know, okay, this is keeping, this is not worth keeping, this is some good stuff. Let's put it all together, splice it all together, and then that would we could monetize it and change my direction in doing presentations
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
and do more
that's a good
retreats.
idea. Yeah.
More retreats. Now we were going to do live streams from the retreat, but there was that one gal who didn't want to be photographed,
Mm,
and she gave people shit for doing it several times. So um, I tend to ask everybody, "Do you want to be photographed? Do you mind if we film you, not film you?" And there was only two people, and the other guy wants to go public, but he's not. He doesn't feel like his 17-year-old daughter needs to know this until she's 18.
mm,
I mean, he didn't want to rock the boat with his family, even though he is like forcing the edge of being known because he's so verbal about it in his community. So you're going to see more people coming out and being stronger voices.
mm. Yeah, I
Breathe,
could draw up
take a
a
breath.
disclaimer, as well for people to sign to give permission, for the upcoming retreat. And if everyone feels comfortable and
Yes.
we're on the same page, I can handle the camera and we can do a few lives. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Or if they don't give
Perfect.
permission, I'll just exclude, them from the footage. It's pretty easy just to pan the camera over someone's head, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Or you can blur
Right.
them out in editing.
Do you have? Yeah, that's when you take it out. Do you have a tripod and a camera?
Yeah, Zach ordered a tripod off Amazon and we can organize something that'll take decent footage.
Yeah. So that would be great. So you can get all the different headshots and angles or whatever else you need.
Yeah.
So congratulations on completing the course. Um, you're now, since you have completed the course, you are now welcome to join the Telegram group called the Golden Grads.
Oh, oh.
The golden
There's
grads.
approximately 80 members. All the members have taken this course.
The golden what?
Golden grads.
Grad.
Graduates.
Okay.
Golden Grads, GRAD, are golden graduates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will send everybody the Telegram link.
Oh, okay.
What is today? The 26th? Um, let me turn off the recording so we can just talk.